Hi, everybody. Sorry about the technical difficulties. Welcome to this first episode of Throw-ish in a Pot. I am Shamika Andrews. I am from New York, where it's cold and snowy, like most of the country at the moment. So, where this whole concept came from was I tend to, if you follow me on Facebook, you see that I tend to share a lot of food pictures. So this has made people think that I'm somewhat of a really good cook or like to cook or any of these things. But the truth is, I don't really like to cook, and I just like to eat. So, in order to eat, I have to make something. So, one time, a friend of mine, she's like, I see all the stuff that you post in the food. You should do a cookbook. And I'm like, I don't think that that would work because, I'm not sure what it'd be called, like throw-ish in a pot, because that's how I cook. I just look at what I have in my refrigerator, my freezer, think about what I like, and throw a bunch of ish in a pot. So, since it is a very cold day, I thought that I would focus this episode on soup. So, me, there we go. So, I have a couple of different items here, different ways that it can make soup. The other thing that I like to do, because I don't like things that take a long time to make, is I like to meal prep or batch cook or whatever you want to call it. So I often will buy, you know, frozen veggies that you can just throw in the pot. Some more broccoli. I happen to like broccoli. You can get, just fresh broccoli, whatever you want. And then also canned tomatoes as the base. Um, I often do that. And then I have here the boil in a bag rice. And then I also have some pasta, some macaroni. So you can have the soup, you can have it with macaroni if you want, you can have it with rice if you want, or you can just do a veggie soup with just the vegetables and broth if you want to do it that way. Also, if I want, I don't have it today, but if I want like a creamy soup, I'll do with like Alfredo sauce, and I'll mix Alfredo sauce with either the tomatoes or like a little bit of broth, like bone broth or chicken broth, if whatever type of broth. And if you're the type that likes to do all of those things, from scratch, you can do that too. But I get the come over here and get out of my refrigerator. Sorry, making you dizzy. Um, get some broth. So, sorry. So this one is chicken. Sometimes I get the bone broth. This is just store brand Price Chopper. If you have Price Chopper or whatever store. So you would just, cook the rice or cook the pasta, whatever the directions are. This is store bought brand. Sometimes I also like to get the Barilla pasta or the Barilla like Alfredo sauce. Those are my favorites. Um, but sometimes I also just get the store brand. Just depends. So you basically what you do is what I do is just take all of this stuff, cook your macaroni just like you cook it, however it says on the box. Um, the other thing is too, sometimes when I'm cooking the rice, instead of using just water, I'll use some of the broth to cook the rice in or cook the pasta in, or you can do a mixture of the two, whatever you like. I think it adds a little bit more flavor to the rice and stuff when you cook it that way. But it's up to you, however you want to do it. So, like I said, I don't do any measuring or whatever, so I literally just, um, with the rice, they're each individual packet, so I'll make, one of these, and then I'll do like half of the package of veggies, and throw it in there with the broth and the tomatoes, and just let it cook until it's all warmed up and mixed together. So that's basically how I put, soups together is, take all the ingredients that I like. If I want, like a light broth, I'll use the chicken or the bone broth, like I said. If I want a mixture, a creamy mixture, I'll do, the Alfredo sauce. And sometimes one of the ones that I like a lot is just doing pasta, macaroni and tomatoes with a little bit of butter and some garlic and some pepper. Those are the spices that I use the most, is just garlic and pepper. You can add whatever other type of spices you like. I pretty much use those for pretty much everything. Um, and again, it's just store brand. Sometimes they'll do onion powder like this, or like actual onions. I like the onion flavor. Some people don't like that, but you can use, whatever type of spices that you like, or, whatever. So I'm going to do these videos, once a month. It'll be, the last uh, Monday of the month, or the fourth Monday of the month, around 2 p.m. my time, Eastern time. So feel free, if you have any questions during the video or after the video, you can leave them there, and then I'll go back through and answer any questions. So again, I'm Shamika Andrews from New York, and this is Throw Ish in a Pot, Soup Edition. So I hope you have a great rest of your day. I hope you staying warm, and I'll see you